What began as an investigation into the reasoning and impacts of a proposed coal-fired power plant in Wise County, Virginia, morphed into an exploratory journey across Appalachia and beyond from the perspective of a new and growing youth environmental activist. I'm Bryce Carter, a Virginia Tech student who has been on a 4-year journey that has led me from my campus tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains of southwestern Virginia to the communities and coal fields across Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. I've attended and participated in public hearings in Wise County, Virginia, Richmond, and Washington, D.C. I've helped recruit for, organize, and host statewide conferences on environmental issues and brought hundreds of students locally to national summits. In 2009, before I was old enough to even go to the bars downtown, I stepped up in my commitment to my community and ran for Blacksburg Town Council. The Wise County project started as a simple question and grew to engaging with the worldwide movement toward a sustainable future. This is my story of the journey I found myself on that I must share with you, as this story truly impacts us all. I grew up in the sprawling suburbs of Northern Virginia that are constantly expanding even today. I spent most of my high school career engaged with classes and internships that would lead me on a path for a future in the field of architecture and engineering. When my senior year came around, I happened to sign up for an advanced placement environmental science course that included mandatory environmental community service. I almost dropped the class for this reason, but I decided I would give it a shot. Soon, I found myself being dropped off by a boat on the shore of a local river. Everywhere I looked, there was trash, styrofoam, plastics, tires, whirling chemicals in the water, among many other contaminants. Not to sound cliche, but looking back to that day, I realized my life changed forever as I understood for the first time the negative environmental impacts I was seeing before me were happening not just here down the road, but all over the world. By the end of my senior year, I surpassed the 16 hours of required service by over 100 hours picking up trash, removing invasive plant species, and planting trees. By the fall of 2006, I arrived at Virginia Tech and took several environmental courses to continue my education on how unsustainable our world is. Within a few months, I was encouraged by a friend to attend a statewide conference at the University of William & Mary, the Youth Energy Summit. Students from schools all across the state not only educated each other on various environmental issues, but actually trained each other to do something about it. For the first time in my life, I was empowered and determined to step up and work together to find solutions to the issues we face. The following summer, representatives from half a dozen schools, including myself for Virginia Tech, got together to form a statewide environmental organizing network. To establish a cohesive network, we decided that we should find a common campaign to work on across the state. After much discussion, we set the bar high with the goal to stop the building of a coal-fired power plant proposed by Dominion Power in Wise County, Virginia. At the time, I was distant from the issue of coal, having been conveniently hidden from it during my sheltered suburban life. I was unsure of the true impacts of the black rock, or of our actual ability to be able to stop a power plant. After all, what do we know about electricity demand? What do we know about the local communities we're going to tell them no, you can't have this? I wanted to investigate this issue more closely and see for myself how complicated it could be, and how we can collaborate across the state to find solutions to reach a sustainable future for all. I grabbed my video camera and headed down to Wise County to find answers. Thus began the Wise County Project. So we went through a red light. There goes some coal.
They just had gravel hit my car. They're breaking my car. Oh my god.
Well, currently I am in Appalachia, Virginia, where a lot of mountaintop removal has been taking place. And honestly, I have not seen the site yet, but it looks like it's some heavy stuff. Basically what they do is they remove the top of a mountain to get to the coal seams. And what they do basically is all the overburden, which is all the, mountain, fills in the valleys. And basically, the valleys are gone now.
happening because people are poor because of this. And there's a direct correlation in terms of the long history of coal mining and how coal was a monoculture when it was a mono industry, and money is where the coal is. These hills were thriving. Appalachia was like New York City of Southwest Virginia. And you can tell from the beautiful buildings there. There was dance halls, movie theaters. Every coal camp around here had their own movie theater, had their own baseball team, had their own school. And now you drive through Inman, and hundreds of people used to live there. And now there's like 10, 12, 20 in each of these coal camps. So they found a way for the coal to still be there and to still be mined, but the money to go outside.
One thing you could do today is you could sign a petition that we should not have another coal-fired plant here, because it is going to annihilate the people, destroy the mountains, what's left of them, and pollute the rivers even further. And how does that affect you? May not affect you personally. That air will go somewhere. That water will go somewhere. And it belongs to all of us as a human race, collectively. It belongs to us.
But you can see the lines in there, that's where it's washed out. There's no bedrock, it's just the rubble, everything that washes down from there. They try to catch it in settling ponds, it doesn't work so well. Because there's really no topsoil and no bedrock, it winds up as silt in the streams.
I found out later that containment ponds, especially those that hold coal processing waste, often referred to as sludge, have been known to fail. In 1972, in Buffalo Creek Hollow in West Virginia, an impoundment dam burst and a 30-foot tsunami of black sludge water was unleashed. Out of a population of 5,000 in the area, 125 were killed, over 1,000 were injured, and over 4,000 were left homeless. Afterward, the coal company called it an act of God. In 2000 in Kentucky, another dam failed through an abandoned coal mine and released over 300 million gallons of sludge down local streams, nearly 30 times larger than the Exxon Valdez disaster. During my research, in 2008 in Tennessee, a dike failure resulted in the release of over 1 billion gallons of coal fly ash slurry, which is over 100 times bigger than the Exxon Valdez spill. Today, in 2010, the cleanup is still occurring and may last many more years with a price tag as high as $1 billion or more. Back in Wise County, in 2004 in this very hollow, a 3-year-old named Jeremy Davis was killed while sleeping in his bed when a 1,000-pound boulder was dislodged from strip mining activities above his home. So far on my journey, everywhere I looked, whether along the roads, downtown buildings, or people's homes, coal dust covered everything and went everywhere. Both my eyes and throat were constantly irritated. I was told in some areas when it rains, cars have been known to lose control on the slick pavement. Aside from the environmental degradation evident before me, I learned that communities were also degrading. A mountaintop removal or strip mining site such as this one employ as few as 6 to 12 people. In neighboring West Virginia, I was astonished to find out that Walmart employs more people than the coal industry. What used to employ hundreds of thousands of people in the United States 60 years ago now only employs tens of thousands. I knocked on a few doors in town to interview local residents. 2 separate neighbors, who refused to speak on camera, explained that they have been physically abused and that there is rampant drug use throughout the area, prompted by the lack of opportunities available. They were fearful and warned me to watch myself. Indeed, the counties of Appalachia have some of the highest poverty and suicide rates in the country. Ironically, after this initial research, I found out later that the slogan of Wise County proudly proclaims itself as the safest place on earth.